Hello and welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 140, with your hosts, Chris Trott,
Ross Hornby,
Alex Smith, and that, of course, was an excellent composition there from Edgar Allan Chode.
Edgar Allan Chode.
Yeah, they sent in a finger before, and they were annoyed that I just called them Edgar, and they're like, full name, please. Edgar Allan Chode.
Allan Chode.
You'll be pleased to know that's not the whole song.
Oh, there's more. How much more is there to that? Because that was like the EastEnders theme, but
But with us saying everyone loves Hat Films, it almost sounded quite a lot like us. Yeah. I mean, I think it's their voice.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
But we haven't sung that before. I mean, it feels like something we would
I felt like they might have put us for a second. I was like, have they put us through an AI here? Because, like,
don't know how
it sounded a lot like
that is to
You've
do.
done it. What do you mean you don't know how easy it is to do? You've done it with the Elon Musk thing.
I have done it. But that was with established voices. Like, that was already an existing database.
I
don't know how to make
You can't train an AI on the millions of hours of talking we've
figured
done.
out how to use our voices.
The tech is out there.
There is probably something.
What do you reckon? 6 months? So the problem is, right?
Probably already exists.
The tech exists, but it's about whether there's a consumer portal for it, right? Because ChatGPT is a consumer portal.
Well, do you know how to download a fork off GitHub? That's basically the barrier right now.
Can you train? Well, you can train your own AI then, because that's the thing as well. Like, it won't let you train it because it apparently requires a lot of. Well, no, if you ask ChatGPT, how do I train you? It says you can't.
Yeah, because it's locked.
Does it not train itself?
That's not an open source model.
Right. Okay.
That's like someone owns that.
A fork of ChatGPT.
Well, it's not necessarily ChatGPT, just another AI.
Have you done this?
No.
Have you read about how this works?
I know how it works.
Yeah.
I basically know AI.
Yeah.
Ask me anything.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, you can get loads of like third-party free open source ones and just download them and then start training them if you want to. Or illegally get a big repository of data from the internet and then set up ChatGPT.
Now, do you think that they've given up trying to police the internet?
I thought there was a lawsuit happening.
I don't think they know enough about the internet to police it.
And by they, I mean governments and police forces, right?
They don't know.
I don't think there's anyone doing anything.
They'll be too far behind by the time these other things catch up that they'll just be like, wait, what is this? I mean, did you see any of the interview about TikTok where the TikTok CEO was like being basically just questioned constantly about what TikTok is, what they
can't hear us,
and like these guys,
you're listening to it. The Chinese are listening to us right through TikToks.
It was a very brain dead, smooth brain experience.
Usually
listening to these old people who don't know how to use their own phones.
Yeah,
asking complex questions about something a bit more complex, but not. I mean, he was answering them all. Mm-hmm. It's just they didn't really. I don't think they understood. But yeah, like with AI, it's going to be even more complex. You need kind of like a fork of the government needs to be in on that stuff. There must be surely like a tech side.
Well, the problem is, right, and the reason you get situations like this is that like you get the lawmakers, the elected, well, they might be elected, they might be chosen by elected officials.
Yeah.
And they are just, like you say, old, electable. They know their stuff regarding what gives them their authority, but yeah, they know very little about modern evolving stuff. It's very hard to stay up to date, I imagine. We know what it's like, and we're not even as old as half these people. But I think the problem is then if you then change the structure of how the laws and governing of that works, you have like basically private consultation bodies, and they can just be bought too, right? So like, as in, because the TikTok guys, they were probably fucking like, yes, let's take this all the way up to this kind of like Senate level or whatever, because we know when we get to that point, we're not going to be dealing with people who can actually ask us the questions that would be threatening. Like, so you would say, okay, well, let's get the senators to interview a bunch of really knowledgeable people on this field of information, and they can choose a board to then consult for them, right? But then at that point, the same superpower tech billionaires, in this case, TikTok or China or whatever you want to call it, can then just get to them instead with more money. Like it's the whole it's happened in the pharmaceutical industry as well. This whole like self-regulation, self-defining what is safe. It's hard for anybody else to do it because the people making the product are the experts.
I've come up with a whole new legal system.
Go on.
Yeah.
I think a whole new leadership system.
No, a whole new legal system.
Okay.
Let's throw out the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then what you do is you battle kind of like in a court case, a regular court case between two people, and a defendant and an attacker.
And the legal words. So you're changing the word defendant
to attacker now. You have attack and defense. So
Like football, simple. Keep it simple. Every man can understand it.
And like a coach
Yeah.
of a team, you hire your lawyer, right? You have your lawyer that's on your side, and you pick the best one, budget depending, to defend your case, regardless of what you did and how many people you killed. You're the attacker, obviously.
Right. So you got to defend.
You killed people.
Guilty until proven innocent in this system. Would you say?
Yeah. So when it comes to like big things that involve Supreme Court, what
Yeah.
you
Don't wanna
do is
get
you
them
get
involved.
two opposing
Kids.
political parties
Yeah.
to be the one to win over the jury of the court case, right? So that it's up to them to get their own best information.
There's going to be a lot of time in court, Trott, for the major political
but we can
parties.
televise it, right? And really,
Right. Constantly televised.
Basically,
Do we have like A and B teams of like parliamentarians? Because then,
Yeah.
whilst A sleeps, B can do court cases and vice versa.
we can have
right?
three parties maybe
Yeah.
on rotation. But basically, it's then incentivized, right, for
Right.
that team to win against the other team, because they're always pitting up against each other.
Shit,
and then you're winning over the jury of like, okay, they've done their research on the TikToks and it does connect to the internet and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Libs win.
Libs win.
Republicans win.
Libs are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then
think
they
I
win
just-
a superb out.
Yeah, I think I've just solved the legal system, because everyone's
God, it's all...
in it for themselves, right? Really.
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess
Most.
you're kind of going hyper, like, what's that film that everyone quotes these days? It's
Thunderdome.
about a future America that's a dystopia. Idiocracy.
Right.
Idiocracy. Have either of you seen this film?
No.
Well, brace yourself, because it's certainly not as revolutionary as it sounds, and it doesn't probably be deserved to be as mentioned as often as it is. But Idiocracy is like a film from, like, let me just get the details, early 2000s. And
Wait, is it like a documentary or an actual, like, just a...
yeah, it's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Idiocracy. No, it's not. It's a 2006 film starring Luke Wilson, brother of Owen Wilson, and
he had a brother.
Yeah, from old school.
Does he look like?
They
Oh.
look kind of similar, I suppose, a little
Okay.
bit. He's not blonde, though, so...
Wow.
it's a comedy, a social satire comedy, basically.
So it's not a documentary.
The premise is a decidedly average American is selected as a guinea pig for a top secret hibernation program, but is forgotten, awakening to a future so incredibly moronic he's easily the most intelligent person alive.
What the hell?
So like 500 years in the future, human evolution is taking a dramatic downturn. After waking up, Joe finds after a prison-assigned IQ test that he's the smartest guy alive. He gets presidential pardon, but he basically sees how this world has evolved. It's basically like take all the stupid parts of America and put them on steroids, and it's a little bit like a Mad Max in that sense, but there's still civilization, and it's just going into like basically taking like you're saying take the legal system or the court system to the same level as like football, right? Or like make it a spectator sport, make it like wrestling.
I think
Like these are all things that please the masses.
Well, you
like,
can, but also it's a case of hiring literally the best team that understand the problem to beat the other team. The incentive is to beat the other team, right? So you want to do the very best you can. Like in Premier League, you want to have the best assembled dynamic team.
And so like people will be like, oh, have you seen so-and-so's bought so-and-so?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's like
TikTok
trades and
specialist.
stuff like that. Yeah.
But that way, it's both
Like,
exciting.
it also sounds expensive.
Yeah, but so's
Time
football.
consuming is the biggest problem.
Yeah, I guess if you own teams, sure, but like, you don't get those teams
It's like
round.
football, but it solves problems.
But the problem is, right, Trott, it doesn't...
and real problems.
It doesn't solve the fundamental issue, and the problem with this whole TikTok thing in the first place is that, like, dissemination of power and control and decision making through a system is really, really complicated, because in your system, the amount of time it would be required. Do they see every court? What court cases do they see? Do they see murder? Do they see the worst
People are
crimes?
willing to watch and sit through fucking cricket.
Yeah, but Trott, there's only like how many hundred of them are there? Like the amount of court cases, like
Case closed.
No, these are the big
cricket
ones.
comment.
the big ones.
Case
So
closed.
what would you define?
You
as
can't
a
get
big
everyone
one?
in the Premier League, mate.
But you can't. What I'm
We
trying to
have
get at is,
different
like, It doesn't
divisions.
solve the problem of like we have the same problem where the most important decision makers and perhaps the most informed people don't have enough time to get in front of all the required important decisions. Right? Like that's the problem. Like Delegation.
You can't have a
delegation,
Messi in every
like
team.
proper delegation, is like the art of bureaucracy. That's what I'm getting at.
I feel like
How do we get onto this? Where
you started off with like AI
TikTok
and fucking TikTok and
TikTok law?
Well, yeah, well, no, it was as in like the TikTok meeting was specifically about them trying to explain why their app isn't dangerous to them and stuff.
Oh,
But they
TikTok
didn't
is
fully
100% terrible for
But
you.
they didn't fully understand. No, not in that sense. But as
The
in,
Chinese are spying on us.
like, yeah, that's what they were saying.
Right, yeah, well,
and
they
that's
are.
what they're worried about, and they're worried that they're storing all the data.
They're building
all-
massive models using
constantly
AI
recording all this
to
other
take
stuff.
over the world.
And that's what they were trying to debunk, but they didn't really know what they were doing.
Yeah.
and they couldn't ask the right questions to like not break, but like really get to the crux of the problem with the TikTok CEO. They were just clueless.
Yeah.
It was really frustrating to watch that. So does
same thing
TikTok
yeah.
use the internet, my Wi-Fi?
Oh, yeah, he was confused between Wi-Fi and internet.
God
And
damn
so
it.
this guy had to explain to him that those were like one and the same. It's just that's how it was getting to you.
This is how.
Like,
Oh
it's-
my god. Unreal.
Which is why he should have hired a team of specialists.
Yeah.
And the only way you would be willing to pay that amount of money is if he knows he's going to fucking own the libs.
Yeah. So
who
you've
are
got to get
also
them
building
riled
their
up.
own team.
I mean, it would be effective, Trott, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Because
it
if anything,
fucking would.
like
Yeah.
the news,
It would be
the
nice
news
if-
media has literally been doing that for like 10 years now, like
Yeah.
teaming it up, tribalizing essentially.
Or just having intellectuals in power. Would be nice. Someone,
That would be good, wouldn't it?
at least like they've like relatively smart to understand basic.
Yeah, but they're not so
basic
smart that they
things.
can beat the news media giants, though, are they? That's the problem.
No.
Experts have become ostracized again in our regular trip from
Yeah.
autocracy to democracy and round again. We're on the experts being. I mean, that's been happening for years. You know,
Well, yeah, 'cause,
Brexit.
like I
for
think the reality
example.
is if you haven't sat with them through their entire course,
How did you know?
how do you know if they've done
How
it?
do you know they've done it?
Quacks.
Just because they've got what like, a little slip of paper.
Yeah. What's his agenda? He's probably got a house in Spain, rich
Exactly.
fuck.
Yeah.
He probably wants to be able to go there easy.
So,
well, not
like,
on mine, not
You're
my
making the
England.
UK
Well,
ill.
I think I'm just saying universities like they should have somebody with them at all times who's like a witness to their work. And I don't teachers
Yeah,
don't.
but
care.
what about the witnesses' credentials? Like, have you seen them every day?
Exactly.
How
so
good
that,
are you
that
at
way you would
witnessing?
have a bit of a train going on.
You need someone to witness
there
the
would be
witness.
the witness chain.
The witness chain.
So you'd
And
have a
then
chain of people who are all making sure that other person is qualified,
to do what they're
and
doing.
then they will actually they'll
They're
gain
like
a
horcruxes.
qualification.
They're like knowledge horcruxes. But
So
if
they
you
don't
knock-
have to-
if you
This is
knock them
accurate.
all off, no longer can be trusted. Their
Yeah.
knowledge can no longer be
Fucking
trusted.
It
Harry
sounds expensive. It
fucking
sounds like
Potter.
time consuming, but I think it's
Yeah.
necessary for us all to start
You
believing
think
these
that's
fucking
better
quacks.
Yeah.
than my court system?
Yeah, 'cause
Like a
doctors will
regulatory
give you
body.
anything.
Would you
Like
say?
a regulatory body, but they have to be physically with you at all times, like over your shoulder, kind of. Yeah, oh, you are.
Yeah.
That's what you've got.
Like an
from that.
institutional system.
And if there's anything that's wrong, they all back each other up.
Yeah. They say, we've all been to Oxford.
And that's- yeah.
We know they make good teachings. And they're like, no, you're all in a huge lie. You're all in a
This is
massive
all a big fucking.
lie.
This is the Bullingdon's Club or whatever.
This is it.
And then you still can't stop the one individual saying, "Well, I wasn't there with you, so I can't. I wasn't with the witness of the witness
Yeah.
of the witness."
Yep.
So you can't really trust anything or anyone or any
The
product
only thing you can trust
consume.
is a red pill.
You couldn't trust the bricks this building was built with. You can't trust.
We don't
anything.
know. We don't know what we're seeing. For God's
I
sake.
don't know what's in
For
front
God's
of me.
sake, let's not get into
know.
philosophies of perception.
Honestly,
Trott, you might only exist because I'm perceiving you.
Fucking hell.
It's like that. Is
do
it
a better
phobias
job.
of rendering? Do a better
she's perceiving it.
See me.
See me better.
That would be fucked if each of us could saw someone else in a very different way. Physically, it looked so different. That would be
Yeah.
kind of shit, but then also kind of good because somebody might see you like really good, but then someone sees you really shit. So it's like you kind of don't want that.
Would
But
that be a
then what's
superpower?
But then what if you were always just really shit?
Well, that's why you'd have a witness.
You don't
with
want
you.
that.
You'd
You
have
want
a
the
witness with you
would be like, "Can I see
who
them?" No, you're
constantly
not.
perceives you at a great
That
level.
guy looks like a
What happens
bag
when
of
you look in the
dicks.
mirror? What's
No.
happening then?
Ooh.
Oh,
That's like when you're on shrooms.
do you have a
look
witness
in the
with
mirror.
you at the time?
What am I perceiving when I look
This
in
would
the
be a
mirror?
really fun
What are you
short film
perceiving?
to make. Like
No,
fucking
it's
with
dumb.
this idea.
It'll be like like Equilibrium, but with witnesses.
And the continuity guys are just like, okay, what did he do there? Okay, he sees himself as a pile of sausages. Okay, is that every day he sees himself as a pile of sausages? Yeah. Any
That's what he's-
reflection.
Yeah. Well, you don't see him like that.
No.
But then I
The
guess we're
cameraman
now
doesn't see him like
basically
that.
describing dysmorphia
Yeah.
of some kind. Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's
see you
super
guys
deep.
as very low
Yeah.
poly.
I see awards in this short film's history already.
It's better than Idiocracy.
That-
by the
Well,
sounds of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Idiocracy's worth a watch
feel like we should
just
give it a
because
try.
it's.
Let's put it on now. Let's all just watch it now.
I mean, it's very. What's that downsizing film? You know
It's called
downsizing.
downsizing.
It's very much like that. It has the same feel as Downsizing. Like, Downsizing is made like 10 years later, but somehow feels that very American style, you know, like something funny's happened to the main character, and then
it's very Spielberg.
Yeah, well, but like not good Spielberg.
No.
It's funny that you said that Matt Damon thing, because I saw a thing the other day where he was in an interview and they were like, "Oh, what's like the one thing someone goes up to you and says?" And he was just like, "Matt Damon." That's what we got from Team America.
That's what Matt Damon
That's what
gets.
he is. He was the guy for the version of me from Team America World Police. That's been imprinted to the point where people will run up to him and do Matt Damon to his face.
It's literally because the puppet came out a bit melty.
Oh, was that why?
That's literally why.
That was their reason.
They didn't do it because they hate Matt Damon. It's because the puppet came out
oh my God.
a bit melty.
I didn't realise the reasoning.
And they were like, this just looks dumb. Let's just make this whole character
and that
like
stuck
that.
with him.
Yeah.
That has stuck to be like, because obviously he's just saying his name and they're saying,
"Hey,
the millionaire
gets Matt Damon."
Yeah, of course. I don't care that much, but I do. I guess you kind of respect them for doing other films.
It's just like, he's just on
there are
set
some great films that Matt Damon is in.
Like Downsizing.
Like Downsizing.
It's underrated. We keep slagging off, but it's really, honestly,
like
I've only seen half of that film. The second half, not the first half.
Elysium.
The Martian.
Elysium.
I don't know about
Nobody
that.
remembers Elysium, do they?
Oh, yeah.
Martian,
It's
though.
quite boring. Martian, great. The Bourne films. Come on, they're great. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're like a first modern, real take on like.
Is it what like
gritty?
Did that come before Casino Royale? Is that what made James Bond
Is
like
that the same
reinvent
director?
itself?
Yeah, I think it might be. Like Daniel Craig's more like hard, edgy,
Yeah.
I'm a killer kind of style.
I can't remember the timeline.
I like to think it
when
probably
they
would
existed.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
we haven't even got to
this
the
is why we have
hypotheticals.
hypotheticals to kind of keep us on track.
Was he in Eurotrip? Apparently, he was in Eurotrip. Was he in Eurotrip? Do you know what Eurotrip is?
I recognise the name.
I'm fairly sure the front cover is one with where a woman's flashing her tits.
Road Trip.
No, but they do a Eurotrip as well,
I've heard of Road Trip.
which is worse.
Which is literally
Jim Carrey in that one.
No, not Road Trip. I don't know about Eurotrip.
Eurotrip 2004
No,
film.
Road Trip was like American Pie level.
No, sure. Oh, he was in Eurotrip. What the fuck? That's Eurotrip. You know, like
Who am I looking at? Is that
Matt Damon,
On the
bottom
right,
right.
he's pointing. Wait, bottom right.
No, it's not.
He's
Top
pointing.
mid right. Isn't that Matt Damon?
That's not Matt.
Is that not Matt Damon?
No.
You sure that's not
Very
Matt Damon?
bushy eyebrows. Maybe he's in it at some
No,
point.
he's not in it. That is not Matt Damon. Yeah, he is in it. He is
That's
in it.
Matt Damon.
He's in it.
That's not him.
Fucking
though.
hell.
How old is that film? Eurotrip.
2004. Matt
Shit.
Damon.
I mean, yeah,
Can't
fair
believe
enough.
He's in it. Let me see.
That doesn't look like Matt Damon. Matt Damon from
Apparently, he is.
Good Will
in it.
Hunting. Was
Oh,
earlier
of
than
course but he's not that character that I pointed
that. No,
out.
no, it's not.
Right.
That was the front
He's
cover.
like a
he's like
singer
a
of like a metal band.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Right. Sure.
Go,
Anyway, Matt
go
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Go Matt Damon.
That's our Matt Damon segment done.
So that's what you'll say when you see him next, right? I loved you in Eurotrip.
Love doing Eurotrip. Matt Damon.
Oh,
Sorry.
Anyway,
Huge thanks to our Patreon supporters.
yeah.
And also all our other supporters that are hanging out on our awesome Discord channel, because you helped us both assemble these questions by providing them in our email. Wow, check it out. I've got all these things. hatchat@hat-films.com. And you also voted on the best ones. So what is number one?
It's from, is that Latofo? It's Latofo. Thank you for sending that in. It says, you wake up to alarms blaring on your spaceship. You've been woken from 43 years of simulated life that you and 2 family members created to pass some time. Your ship tells you that you must leave this planet's atmosphere or you will die. An unexpected turn, in brackets. The only way to safely wake your family members is for all of you to meet up in the simulated world. Strange design. They've put commentary basically throughout this. Yeah. You can see their name, country, location, and a picture of what they look like, but all the other information is restricted. You have 2 weeks before death will come for you all. In your newfound old life, how would you go about saving your fam?
So basically, you got to find a person in a simulated reality.
Find them.
You just got a picture and name. Doesn't really need the whole simulated part of it.
Wait, so
you need to-
they said in
it
order to
says-
wake them up, you've got to go and find them back in the simulation. So
It's
that's
just funny that they added this whole simulated element
Yeah.
of the story to ultimately
That's-
find this person on this picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said the answer to this is find them.
That is
Right?
the answer. Well, if you know where they are now, surely you can just go there.
Hi.
Is
Apparently we're related.
I think you go into the simulation they're randomly placed.
Yeah, so you have to go and find them. It's like race across the world. It'd be exciting. It'd be a fun trip. Kind of sad. You'd kind of be sad that you're having to detach from all of the people you thought were your family. Though you're like, oh.
I'd first of all load up Reddit using my Apollo app, realize that the API is too expensive, and then shut that down. So I go on the regular Reddit.
Yeah, I'd get frustrated and not use it.
And get annoyed because it's not as.
And then realize, why am I
user-friendly
wasting my time on Reddit?
But that's besides the point. I would post, "Have you seen this person?"
Yeah.
Missing, and hopefully get that viral. Get some ideas out. Get it going. Just go on a big social media binge. I think that's the easiest way, right?
I don't fucking know because like
this person's killed people. Watch out. Where are they?
You can see their name, country, location, picture of what they look like. That's
name,
it.
country, location.
That's so,
you can
like,
see their location.
It says country location, so the country they're in. So if it just says Africa, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I know the TikTok dance with like showing their picture, like missing.
So you're going to try and become viral
on TikTok.
With a dance and a picture of them.
What would be the dance you'd go? What's your go-to?
You have
TikTok
a week.
Dance?
I'd probably
to go viral.
do the classic like going liquid, a bit of breakdancing, but I'd also stick the missing person's picture on my head, so it encourages other people to do the dance with the same head. So then that person's face goes viral, and then that person eventually can be like, "That's me, that's my family member, and I know where they are."
And then everyone's doing the dance. Like, what happens with the dance? What's going on in the... I'm more interested in the dance than you finding your family.
The dance is more to get people to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's to create that viral...
I get that, but what would the dance look like? What moves are there? What are there TikTok-specific moves?
Describe.
Does it all have to be done in like a portrait box when you film it? Is that...
Well, yeah, you're going to do a landscape TikTok? Fucking boomer.
You wouldn't do
Maybe
that.
I want the width of the scene.
Less information on the screen.
What?
You want the full...
I can just turn my phone sideways.
It doesn't let you, or just always lock it to that ratio.
Can you not rotate your phone in TikTok?
You got to scroll, bro.
Yeah.
You got to flick up. It's too much effort to twist it sideways.
I don't know if it is. I don't know.
I think it might be. I think they might
get rid
know.
of that feature each time.
Well, so you're...
I'm turning it sideways.
Oh, this was a horizontal one.
I will say I
Back
don't
to
use
normal.
TikTok at all, and I'm glad I don't, because I'm addicted to my phone anyway.
Well, you're never going to find your family member.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
I don't know why that's the method, because like...
Oh, I
First
feel
of
like
all,
social media is a great place to start for searching.
I would go to their house first. Is that
Right.
not...
No, wow.
This hasn't said that they're just like... It doesn't say they're in a random location,
Yeah.
right? So why would they be anywhere other than where they were last time you saw them? Does it say that they're now randomly input? It doesn't mention that in this, right? The only way to safely wake your family members is for all of you to meet up in a simulated world. You can see their name, country, location, a picture of what they look. So is it a random, like loading
you
into
can
a
see
game
their
and going...
country name and location.
No, just their country... Yeah, the country location, as in...
Which country they're in.
Let's say
Right.
you're in America or in the UK. But is it like loading into a game and then like you don't know where they are, or are you
And that's the assumption.
already aware in the simulation? Oh yeah, well they're obviously at the house.
Oh,
I go to
you're
their
right
house
there.
first.
We both like.
There you are.
I think you have to find them
We've got to go
within-
because in a
within the
week we're going to
country.
die. Sorry,
2 weeks. Within
2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks we're going to die.
But you probably need to start early. I think if you had to track down 5 different people across the globe within 2 weeks, you'd have a very hard time.
Of course, yeah.
I think you'd have a very hard time. I think
it
a
was
quick
random.
search on Facebook
If it was
would be
like
my
you input
only
random.
sort of... Well, that would be what I would do most of the time.
Facebook would be a good one, yeah.
Because it has names. It's just a big list of names and faces, funny enough.
But then you got a really generic name, unfortunately. So you'd have a hard time.
I have a hard time.
Looking through all the Smiths in England. Fucking hell, mate.
It's the most common name in the US, the UK, and
Peru.
like somewhere else as well. I think maybe
Yeah.
Australia. So like, yeah, we got a lot to get
So
through.
you got you might have to change
I'm gonna
your
do
strategy.
I'm gonna be like Simon Cowell and have Britain's Got Talent, but it's only Smiths are invited.
Britain's got Smiths.
Britain's got Smiths, and so is a lot of the
That's
other
an
rest of the
interesting
world.
point. Because
Yeah.
like you could find out what that person is good at and host a talent contest specifically for that. If
Why would
they-
you need to know that? Just out of interest.
Do you think the family member would enter that?
just for
Why
fun?
would you know how good? So what are you good at? The world's going to end, but what are you good at? Also, when we leave these bodies,
I can't imagine.
are you going to be good at it when we leave the bodies out of the simulator?
With
What?
2 weeks left, I can't imagine being calm enough to set up a fucking
Talent show.
talent show,
And get you don't think
which
so?
is of the
I
scale
need budget.
at the scale of Britain's Got Talent,
Yeah.
but Britain's Got Smiths, and you're like relaxed.
Britain's got Smith.
All right, there's about a week left. I got to find someone anyway. And I've managed
You're
to
gonna
put
get
all
through
this
a
together,
lot.
which is
Literally
an
one
ordeal.
in hundreds,
Even though it's simulated,
thousands.
The whole world is simulated. Does,
Yeah.
that, does that then make you like Neo? So you're bending spoons all over the place, just creating shows
Well, if
because
you
you're
do
like,
that,
this
you
isn't
could
real,
just
guys.
Fly around.
I'm Simon Cowell, and they don't know.
Like,
Yeah. His only ability is to bend spoons.
watch this. There is no spoon. Do you see any spoons on me right now?
Fucking hell, there isn't a spoon on you right
There's
now.
no spoon near me.
There's no
Wow.
light hold.
No
light
spoon in
hold.
here. Nothing in money. In my
He's
pocket.
Neo
not
over
lying.
here.
He's
So-
not lying.
Yeah, maybe. But we'd probably try and find and fail, and then probably be sad at the fact that we failed to wake our real family up, and we lost
Die.
the family we thought we had within the simulator.
Mm.
So I think we'd probably go back into the simulation, and the whole cycle would start again.
Well,
And maybe that is just what life is.
Unless you set the simulation to be like, well, give me an entire life, but make it last for this next
Condense
2
the
weeks.
time.
And so you won't like dream time
Doesn't
is
matter.
different in your head, sure. So you could live another 50 years in the 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
Oh, you can
50.
compress time. Isn't
Yeah,
there a
as in,
TV
like-
show that like
Yeah, that was Black Mirror, wasn't
it
it?
was Black Mirror where they
Where it was in the snow
revealed?
globe. And they just literally just.
No, it's not.
It's been like 4 years, or whatever, and then like, oh shit.
There was a TV show I was watching where they
It's
revealed.
a head fuck.
And the fridge one as well. The whole civilization takes off in a fridge.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, there's a few
Black
like
Mirror?
this. There's a few like this, but
That was, wasn't it? Was it Black
I
Mirror?
don't know actually.
what?
The fridge one. The fridge one? Am I saying?
The fridge
Or am
one.
I thinking
isn't that
of
Love, Death and Robots?
Love, Death and Robots. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I think it might be the animation ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
that was
Also very good.
Cool. Anyway.
But
yeah.
that's it's a tough one. But I think you.
I'd go TikTok sensation. Smith would go talent show. Ross would.
I would go to the places
Go to
I
their house.
normally think they would be.
Yeah.
Kind of just be in a little bit of despair and just give up when I realised they've just decided to travel the world and make it impossible.
I'm making the
for me
most
to
of
find
my
them.
2 weeks. I'm backpacking to the Congo.
I don't know if
doing
they're aware. Are they
anything.
aware that there's 2 weeks? I don't even know.
I don't know.
This long question needs more detail,
Okay.
but it's fine.
That's our answer based on the loose information we have. There you go.
I'm
What's
searching
our-
in the normal places.
What's our next
It's
hypothetical?
very dull, but next one is from Dom. Thanks, Dom.
Thanks.
They've said, would aliens understand maths? At what level, and could we use it to communicate with them? This is taking into consideration the universal rules of maths that some considered were discovered instead of invented.
I think, yeah. Like, so long as the way we perceive everything is true and it's not going to be fundamentally upheaved, like math doesn't exist actually. It's all a I don't know. I think there's an intrinsic value to the universe where things are numbers. Things can be counted.
Yeah, there are patterns. There are
When it's something like about like
quantifiability to
what was
things.
the quote? There's somebody said something like, if the Earth was like completely demolished and civilizations were,
That's Ricky
No.
Gervais.
was it that? Yeah, where it's all been like
It's all
wiped
about
out.
religion, right?
Oh,
If you
that's
burn all the
yeah.
religious books, they'd all come
Yeah.
back different. But if you burn science books, they all come back the same.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
That's not the
I
same.
think that
that's
like
what I was trying to say. But yeah, that's
yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting quote. 'Cause, yeah, like as in like.
I think math would come back the same, yeah, because it's the same. It's
So would
the
we
fundamentals.
would our language of it be the same?
No, Pythagoras would probably be Hornby-ness. 'Cause you
That's
get-
a Hornbinous triangle if ever I've seen
I won't
one.
be making up.
But ultimately,
the maths, guys.
we
I
know
won't be
the-
figuring this out when we're at day one.
Right, let's crack
I'm not figuring
cracking.
any
Let's get
maths.
cracking.
The language would be
I'm like,
different,
look,
but the fundamentals
I've got
would be
two
the same.
rocks. One of these rocks plus one of these rocks makes two rocks.
Equations
everybody
and
with
shit
me?
would
But
probably-
they don't compare.
And you need to put these rocks
so
on that
big.
giant pyramid I'm building back here. Come on, guys.
Come
Grab a
on,
rock.
guys.
Those big ones for you. Yeah, like
The numbers would look different.
yeah.
The symbols and equations would look different. But what makes up
But the
those
idea is
equations,
there, is what
the
you mean.
formula
The
is
idea would always be
probably
there.
the same, right? You just have to figure out what the pattern is, like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I think that's meant to be an equal sign, but they write everything in reverse, so the equals over there. And their ratio, you know.
Well, it's yeah. We're not smart enough to properly explain what we're trying to say, but I think yes, we would
No, I
be.
think I am.
We've been-
we
no,
would be very confident.
We have been
indeed
given
if
a
we-
maths question here, essentially.
Well, essentially, what we're being asked to
Would
say
aliens
is
understand
maths just an opinion?
yeah,
And I'm like, well, I'd probably be bold to say that math is just an opinion.
yeah.
I think that it's a way of quantifying something, isn't it? It's a way of giving measurability to existence.
I think yes and no is a fundamental, right? It's something that positive, something negative.
Yeah.
Like yes or no. I think you could just do one rock, right?
But when you apply those terms to
rock.
something, it's not always absolute, though.
Yeah, but then you gotta connect it with something. So if an alien has a physical body, which I hope it does, because if it's in 4D, we're fucked.
Yeah.
You give it a rock, and then you give it no rock. Binary. Wow.
Yeah.
And then you're like, happy.
Yeah.
But to them, that's like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
So you're like,
you think they're gonna use the rock
and then
to
you're like,
what if they
sad.
experience time differently?
Well, then we're fucked. Like I said, if it's 4D,
Yeah.
or like,
I think that's the main concern, is that like there may be ways that we simply do not exist on the same rules almost, you know, like we are trapped within our rule set, and without our rule set we wouldn't be able to exist as well. That's the other thing, right? Going to other dimensions could be possible, but it may be that we can never interact with those dimensions because we are intrinsically locked to our own, which would be sad, wouldn't it? It'd be like looking through double glaze and shouting at people to get off the lawn, "Hey!" and they can't hear, and on the other side they hear nothing, they just see God.
Shit, it's really sounding.
It's gonna be like that, but with
double glaze
dimensions.
is not that good.
No, triple maybe.
All right,
triple.
Now we're talking.
Especially if you get the
specifically soundproof glass.
Oh, and you want, like, you know,
One-way mirror
nitrogen
as well.
purged as well. You know, really,
Yeah.
really good stuff.
I really want to scream in that room, and no one can hear a thing.
That's what it would look like from
You
the
turn
outside.
around and see us.
For podcast listeners only.
Turn around and see a pained, anguished
He's
man
screaming.
screaming at the top of his lungs, and you can't hear a word. He's just cheeks pressed against the glass, hands on the glass as well. Why is he screaming? We're wondering. He's not saying a word, so everything's fine.
Love it. Love a good bit of sound insulation. It's
Love it.
exciting.
But maths, I imagine, yeah, sure. Let's say it would exist all the time.
Yeah.
I think, math is there.
It
Math is
might
a
be
fundamental.
written down.
I like the idea
differently.
of giving, like you say, as long as they exist within the same rules as us, something, not something. Also, like, hey, if I put can, another can, and another can.
You're giving them a concept of can.
Yeah, I'm giving them a can now, right? If I then go,
I said rock.
like, I take one of them away and leave two and go, is this the same as that? You know, like, it's almost like is it? And they're like, well, no, because there's less or there's fewer. You know,
imagine
like,
how frustrating that conversation would be.
yeah. But then, I mean, if you
basically-
I guess
Arrival,
it's
this is what
everyone who's
I watched
has to teach
Arrival,
kids-
yeah.
teaching kids how to learn maths.
Arrival's a good film for this.
Yeah, I watched like 3 months ago as well because I wanted to rewatch it, and it was
Arrival's
great.
about universal language, right?
Yeah, but it's
Have you seen
also
the
about
sequel?
her discovering a twist at the end, which I don't want to spoil for people. But that's kind of somewhat what we're talking about as well. There isn't a sequel.
Yeah, it's Departure.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. The Departure.
It's the Departures. It's weird trilogy.
Yeah. And Matt Damon, funnily enough. Full
Damon's
circle.
in that one.
Full circle.
Robert De Niro, maybe. Al
Yeah.
Pacino. I don't know if they're all in
Yeah.
it. Are they all in it?
I think so. I think they all just got together and went, come on.
Yeah.
Let's make an old boys club film. But it is very good.
See, Al Pacino's got a kid on the way. He's 83,
Yeah, it's really
and
good.
she's what?
29. But she's also been with Mick Jagger and Clint Eastwood.
She's got a taste.
What a choice. That's interesting.
Rich old people.
But she's already wealthy in her own right.
Weird. So she's just got
Isn't that what a strange collection of men?
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Clint Eastwood. What do they all share in common?
Would you see them in the same room together ever? I mean, that's something.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
They might be part of the Illuminati.
Maybe that's it. It's an Illuminati thing.
It's a
You're looking it
Scientology
up.
thing.
Yeah.
He's got to see.
They must have all been in a circle.
Yeah, well,
Which-
Al Pacino's the winner. He managed to knock her up. So go you, Al Pacino.
It's super virile.
He's gonna be dead before they're 16.
Yeah, but
Or,
the
like,
kid's
10?
got a
He's- before they're
healthy,
even-
wealthy life, right? Because she's doing
Well,
all right.
yeah, I guess so. It's a very
without
odd
a
way of
father
discounting. Yeah.
Yeah, but Clint might
Yeah,
still be knocking about.
I find the money thing very, very odd sometimes. I know, obviously, like, it's easy to wail on wealthy people, but like, not having your dad, that's
Pretty shit.
as in like he knows that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, absolutely. And I think that's why people get mad. I think that's
What if he knows something else?
Well, that he's going to be a
He
head in
can
a jar.
stay- No, he can stay alive. Yeah,
He can stay alive. He doesn't look. He looks half dead now.
That's
Poor
his-
guy.
he looks like a sort of
I
like
wonder
a
if we've
porcupine.
mentioning him might cause
Might do
other
it.
issues. I don't know. We've mentioned Judi Dench a lot.
It's butterfly.
We mentioned Tina
Those
Turner. Bless
people
her.
at the
Rest in
top
peace.
of Hollywood, don't forget, they're just projecting their mask to you.
He
They're
could
actually
be-
immortal.
Ah.
and that's just his current vessel, and he'll move into a new one. So don't worry about it.
I'm
You'll
not.
be all right.
I'm not that worried about it.
I feel like you're definitely making like, you know, Kendall Roy's, aren't you? In terms of like, that kid is going to grow up and might be told, oh, your father was a great actor or something like that, or like, yeah, your dad knew he wasn't going to be around when you were an adult. I just feel like you would just naturally create quite a difficult complex for that kid, perhaps.
Well, he's never going to have a proper discussion with him because when he's 10 years old, he's going to be 93 or 92.
AI's come a long way.
Well, also,
that's the thing.
and also the flip side to this,
Watch him through his
single,
films.
like
Put
single
Daddy on screen.
parenting does happen a lot. Like the flip side of this is there are single parenting happens a lot.
Of course.
Like, and people still grow up.
It's like he's preparing for it. It's like
it's almost
you know when you're like, you know.
Yeah.
What's the oldest you think you would be to have a child?
Probably no later than my
longevity.
50s.
Yeah.
The longevity of your life, I guess, is on the line, really. It's like, how old do you think you're going to be?
And how much energy
sure.
you have to take care of a child and raise a child, because, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder the older you get.
Yeah,
right?
apparently.
Because you're going to age and not be like...
The cutoff is 55, 60, 59.
No, I don't know. I mean, let's be honest, we don't know.
36.
Might not be able to have kids.
36.
I've got under a year
Jesus.
to go.
That's quite the cap you put on there.
I've nut tapped you enough to make sure that it's going to take you a while as well.
Yeah, those things are going to... They're blinded
Bruised
now.
and
They're
battered.
finding their way. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah, they're bouncing around in there.
Slapped
Most of the sperm
bollocks
hasn't
so
left
many
in
times.
years, so
And
it's
they
like
only exist if
really
you
old.
perceive me.
Yeah, and you
I've been
cycle,
no fat for like 4 or 5 years. It comes
You've been
out
building up
like,
superhuman.
just
like
toothpaste.
fridge ready butter.
Like a single
Comes out like a tube of
mutant
toothpaste.
sperm.
You have released me.
I can't.
We are one now.
Go anywhere. It climbs out,
Like a,
peels itself out of there.
like a fucking fatberg.
Wasn't that the episode of
That's so gross.
Fatberg just comes crawling
Fatberg.
out, greasy goose fat coming out of the end.
Father.
Are you drawing breath?
I was birthed in there. What?
Guys, come and see this. I can feel a pressure change over the top of my
do you
sperm.
tell a doctor?
No.
Do you tell a doctor you would, if you birthed a sperm that turned into a small creature? Who are you telling?
You do the honourable thing, microwave it and tell no one.
Honourable. Why microwave? I don't want to ruin my microwave.
Well, how else are you going to kill it?
Well, because if you flush it, it could survive elsewhere.
Well, exactly. You need to make sure it's dead.
You need to kill it. Mash it with a hammer.
If you want.
What if it talks to you and has a voice?
I know, exactly. That's when the microwave solves
No,
that problem.
wait! No, please don't hammer me.
Please, wait! No, it's not that far.
No.
The kitchen.
What?
I'm in a flat. I'm jogging to the kitchen. Sling
Doesn't
it.
give it a chance.
Boom,
Your words mean nothing.
You got the perfect name
Hi.
for this thing. It's the homunculus.
Homunculus, yeah. Well, there was something similar in, was it in... It was, in Rick and Morty where he fights his sperm again. Remember you've had an album where it comes out as a full grown?
Yeah.
But this will just more like be like kind of like one of those little fish with the little gills, like kind of just...
A catfish.
Oh, no.
A catfish.
Well, it's climbed its way out.
It would be
It's going to be like a worm that...
It's evolved to come out of urethra, so it's like perfectly shaped.
Yeah.
There is one that
It's a
would
worm.
fit this.
It's a cum worm.
Urethra fish.
No. Hold on.
Horrible. Anyway, so you're not telling a doctor. I would consult a doctor. That shouldn't be happening.
What the fuck would they know?
They might know how to stop it happening again.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
And if it's the first, but this is the thing. This is the risk you're taking.
They're all quacks, Ross.
I know. But this is the thing. You're going to the doctor and you're like, well, hello. I have a problem where basically the other day I wasn't even trying, and it just this worm that looked kind of like cum came crawling out of my penis and spoke to me. Yeah. Here it is. And you bring it in.
Hey!
I've given it a little
It
hand.
looks like a little blind snake. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
fucking hell. He's showing us
But like
pictures
it's
of worms.
talking doc, and it's been telling me how it felt in there, and I don't
Would you
know
give
what to
it,
do. Like
an outfit to take to the doctors?
I don't think I'd dress it
Yeah,
up.
would you dress it? Would you put it in a buggy or a
But
pram?
I would be a bit more
Would
precious.
you get a pram?
But what if
get a pram?
What if it was what if it goes back to a perception thing where then their witness next to him says no, he's actually just holding a handful of cum.
He's having a
So the
psychological...
perception, I think that it's a cum worm speaking to
Can
me.
you help me find my family? I've got a week and a half left.
And the doctor's just trying to explain to me that all they can see is a hand filled with cum.
God.
And at that point,
my perception It's not in line with theirs. We haven't synchronized. We are in the wrong place.
You're praying that this is a simulation at this point, aren't you?
I'm
You're like,
hoping.
I hope this is a simulation.
Come on, Doc. What is it?
I've
What's
sold
what's
this.
going on?
I'm either having a psychological break or this is a simulation.
Yeah.
You tell me this is cum worm
Yeah.
isn't talking to you, so you're covered in cum.
You are covered in ejaculate. Yeah.
How long has it
Sorry,
been?
Doc. Well, I didn't know what to do, so I cut them off
Don't want
before
another
you
one.
even got involved.
I thought there were more in the ball, so I had to look. He's
Yeah.
definitely having a psychological
Guys, I saw
break.
these knife videos online where they heat it up really fast, and that's all I did.
Knife videos
Go
online.
on.
Save my life.
Yeah, that's the Sun headline.
Don't ban
The Mirror.
TikTok.
It'll be the Mirror. Anyway,
it'll be
that's
this
weird.
Express.
I think that's a pretty clear and concise case closed right there
Pretty gross.
of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so, yeah.
just mania.
That's just mania and psychosis.
Point of
or
view of
something.
someone who has no grip on
You
reality.
can see how that would happen, though. You know, like the older I get, maybe the more mental I get.
Well, there's
like,
specifically the
cum
cum
one
one.
no, the psychological break thing,
Ah.
where people just go so crazy. Because if you genuinely believed nothing was real, you would walk down the bloody main street, just go into shops, rip stuff off shelves, like, you know, like just
What's the,
like
um,
Well, yeah, like you worry that, like, well, when people are on
Because
fucking
what's the
various
famous-
drugs, that's what they act.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's
derealization.
What's the
complete-
famous Greek philosopher that eventually came to that conclusion and just got drunk and watched people as if they were chess pieces?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably quite a few of them that did that because
Yeah.
they probably all become pretty nihilistic. And was it solipsist or
Could
something?
have been something like that.
Well, like, I don't know.
Plato? No.
Okay,
I don't know.
could be. But that particular story, I'm sure somebody else will know better than I will. But I don't know.
It sounds
that
like
one.
someone.
Trotimus of Athens.
Oh, it was me.
You get drunk and watch them like chess pieces.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we were just describing madness essentially. But
You
if that
were.
happened, I would still seek a doctor's advice.
If it felt really
And if they
real
told
to
you that, yeah, exactly. If it felt really real, if they told you that, like, the thing talking to you and going, Ross, what's he saying, Ross?
But he's still
or would he
talking
call
to
you
me.
Dad?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the relationship level is.
What would
at
your
that
cum
point.
worm call you?
But I'm not going to request. It's going to call me Ross.
Ross. He's
I'm not going to call it son.
And the doctor's like
I want to call you Dad.
telling you the complete. Would you believe the doctor, or would you believe yourself? Would you believe your own eyes, or what? another person was
First,
telling
I'd
you?
want some kind of relief in knowing that it wasn't just me that was going through. I feel like that's half the time. Like when anyone has any ailments and stuff, or either mental illnesses and stuff, you want to know that someone else is going through something similar, so it kind of eases off the pressure of. And also, I don't want to be experimented
So
on.
you'd set up like a Discord
Yeah,
and find like-minded.
What if
Yeah.
there's nobody else like you out there?
it'll be me and a picture of me with the worm.
You're creating a
Did
dangerous...
you make one of these too?
And then the photo everyone actually sees is just you with
Just
cum
me.
all over your hand.
Just a web thing.
Oh God, he's made a Discord.
It's weird. Every time
Oh
I take
God,
a
Ross has
photo
made a
of it...
Discord.
Oh no!
I'm really worried about him.
And not one of my friends has told me. So I'm going around all my friend groups,
Oh
been
my
explaining. They're like,
gosh.
well, so like, what do you think? Like, do you make these too? And everyone's laughing, and I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah,
course
all
I
the
do.
time.
Obviously,
3 a
I feel
day.
like someone would snap at some point and dude, get that cummy hand away from me, or wash your fucking hands.
Yeah, but the
You've
one
been doing
out
this
of,
for a
like,
week.
the 1 out of the 10, you'd be like, that guy is the idiot.
That guy's a moron.
Also, you could test whether
You're on
anyone
my
else can
list.
see it without them seeing it. Like, you could go up behind somebody, hold your cum worm out, and say, "Look, try and get their attention." And if the person turns around of their own accord, then the worm is real.
Say hi.
If they turn around eventually because they've got whatever they needed, and you're just stood there extended with a cummy hand out behind them, again, you're probably going to get arrested.
I think that's it. I think you're going to get arrested before you really get much.
Say
of
hi.
That, so
What would you call it?
Sedwick.
Sedwick.
Why?
Why is it always
I
something
don't
with a
know
wick
with
on
the
it?
wick. I don't know because it's a name I wouldn't normally want to use. Wick.
Sedwick. It looks like a wiki.
Sedwick.
Like you could put a candle wick in it.
Yeah.
Sedwick the cum worm.
You don't know what he looks
Sedwick.
like. That's what you pictured.
That's I picture it as a waxy
You pictured the worm
creature.
he pulled up.
I imagine it a
Picturing
bit
tiny
like.
Michelin man. That's all I'm picturing.
Yeah, I'm
Strong
picturing something
Michelin.
between like Mewtwo,
Mewtwo.
a
Why would it
worm.
come out like an animal like that?
But you know how Mewtwo had like the
You
kind
could
of like
just call it Gubbins.
gubbins.
Just as a cute
Come on,
little
gubbins! It's a worm.
Come on,
it's
Gubbins.
kind of
Have you met my
catfishy.
friend Gubbins?
yeah.
But then also, I do picture it a little bit like the DNA strand from Jurassic Park.
Ah, yes.
Like,
But he also
the
reminded me
eyes.
of the paperclip from
yeah, a lot.
Microsoft.
Clippy. Is it Clippy?
Yeah, Clippy. Yeah.
Clippy.
Which one came first?
Clippy,
Well,
the big ray.
Microsoft. Oh, yeah, well, I imagine Microsoft was the first. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
I
actually.
think so.
Or yeah, DOS
I
was
think
around
so.
for a long time.
But
Yeah.
DOS didn't have Clippy.
No, it didn't.
True.
Just saying.
Shit, there's back and
I
forth.
don't know that.
95 had
I'm not
Clippy,
looking
didn't
it
it?
up.
know or care.
I'm going to say, right, 95 out Clippy. Jurassic Park came out in 96. 98, didn't it?
No, 96. I thought it was 95.
Before 98. Yeah, it was.
Or 96. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. What we're discussing.
What came out before 95? That was DOS, I guess.
Nothing. Oh, what? It went from MS-DOS to Windows
93.
95.
Jurassic Park.
993.
Clippy was fucking
Big God.
ripping on Jurassic Park.
What, the DNA strand? Do you think? I mean, it's basically just the DNA strand with
Hey.
googly eyes, and that's basically all they did with a
Clippy.
paperclip.
That's the early concept for Clippy.
Anyway, yeah, this cum worm looks like that.
Right.
Looks
It's
like
also going to have
Clippy.
your features.
Sure.
He first
'Cause it's
appeared in
you.
Windows
This comes out of
97.
my hairstyle.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Your world is
So you
upside
think,
down.
you think the DNA strand was inspiration for the Clippy? Is that what we're thinking?
Maybe.
I think there should be a full-on investigation into this.
I think there should be. I think
That's where all the resources are going, guys.
This is
why
it's 3 a.m. You've started googling this now, and you're not
come
gonna
in your
stop.
hand.
You've got your
typing's
cum
50.
buddy with you.
I found another parrot I like on Instagram.
Parrot.
Another
Another one. I didn't know you know one before.
There was a parrot I liked, and it was funny. It's a little green herb,
Yeah.
which is
It's
like a little
parrot,
one.
Surely.
But then this one's a big African grey parrot
Right.
that they're teaching textures and colours.
Oh yeah.
And like it can identify metal, paper, rocks. It can identify colour within the spectrum it can see. Then they're treating it like a child. And the two people, they train it, and one of them plays the rival of the bird because they found that the bird learns better if it feels like it has someone to compete against or compare itself to. So like one
Why
trainer
my court system would work.
One trainer will talk to the bird and say, what color is this? What color is this? If you do 4 of these, I'll give you a treat. What color is this? What type of texture is this? And then they have the other the person play a rival and occasionally get things wrong as well so that the bird can
You got it wrong.
yeah. So that was fun.
I'm the best parrot.
That one's, what's that one called? Apollo, funnily enough, because you said, that's what I said earlier, because
Apollo, yeah.
Ross was saying, you've seen what's happened to Apollo, which is the Reddit
come
app that
full
these
circle.
guys talk about. Yeah.
Well, it's a well-made app that runs
Yeah.
smoother than the Reddit app.
Right. It's
But
now
it's gonna
being
cost them $20 million a
It's been
year
priced
to
out.
priced out of the market. But Ross said, have you seen what's happening to Apollo this morning? And I said,
It's
what?
not dead, is it?
The parrot. Because I just spent the last 2 days looking at this parrot. So we're in different
worlds on the
different
internet.
worlds sometimes,
Yeah.
you know.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
you refuse to use TikTok.
The parrot's fine. Yeah, I know. I do.
You'll probably find better parrots on TikTok.
I don't.
Or the same one.
The
let's be
same
honest.
parrots.
And those parrots will slowly
the
be
same
manipulating your political views.
Oh, I suddenly become more and more sympathetic towards China because of this
Okay, we
fucking
got the parrot. Today we got 2 colors. We got red and
Yeah.
blue, and you want red, right? Red. Red's good. Blue's bad.
Bad. You want red. PLA red.
Red or dead. Anyway, that's been Hat Chat. I think that's been plenty.
Yeah.
So I hope you have a great week, and I hope you really have some existential thoughts about, simulations,
Parrots and worms, I guess.
cumworms, and the like.
Would you tell a doctor?
Would you tell a doctor? Let us know.
Or would you keep it secret?
For fear of being a lunatic and not wanting to.
My fear would be tested on. Like, I become a test. Like, they're like, I've never seen this in the history.
This level of psychosis.
So if it was rather than it just being a
It's
pool
remarkable.
of cum on my hands, like it's an actual creature.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to tell them because I'd be scared that they would
There's
test on
no
me
way you're
forever.
producing enough to create a pool. You mean a few dribs or drabs of cum on your hand, not a pool of cum. There's no way it would be pooling
Oh,
up.
what pooling up in the hand?
How deep a pool are we talking?
I don't know.
3 centimeters? Two-hander?
Centimeters. I'm not.
Two-hander?
I don't know. I guess
I often have to do this.
to find out
Do
after
you?
this.
Like you're cupping water from a
How
stream?
are you even?
Ah, fucking hell. And then
You're
I'm
using
like
both
doing
hands.
this because I'm getting splashed back. It's wild. I have to put an umbrella up. Anyway, thanks for listening today.
Hell.
Send us some cool, funny news to hatchat@films.com or other hypotheticals. There's been some great ones coming through, like the simulated one. Thank you very much. And also a good place to send us your fingals, like Edgar Allan Cho did. And
Thank
as a
you,
little
Edgar.
treat, he's made the full song. So please enjoy. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I bet there's a Ricky bit.